Hello friends, today we will continue our discussion with the different type of scales, and today we are going to talk about the ranking scales. So, in case of the social science research, okay, most of the scale you used or most of the scale you have ever seen, okay, I think those are mostly the rating type, means there are a set of the statement that may vary in terms of the weightage or may have the equal weightage, okay, and against which you generally respond based on their degree of agreement, okay, because it provide you the continuum or anchored continuum where there may be a number of anchoring point, like starting from the 3 point to the 12 point I already, okay. So, I think I discussed about it. Okay. So, now today we are going to talk about a different type of scale which is known as the ranking scale. Okay. So, ranking scale is the one of the most simple and one of the often in the based on the situation most useful type of scale. Okay. So, in case of I think when I talk about this different various objective scales and test, okay. So, I introduce the one type of item which we call the rank order item. Okay. So, ranking scale is simply it is the basically comprised of the rank order items. Okay. So, that means okay, the advantage or limitation of the rank order items that is applicable in case of the ranking scale also. Okay. So, in these scales, okay, so subjects are generally asked to rank order all the items according to the specific criteria. Okay. And how this ranking is given? Generally the most preferred rank is given the in terms of the number given the lowest number, means for the most preferred rank you give the 1, okay, and from the least preferred you give the rank of the 5. Okay. And here I put the one of the example of the ranking scale, okay, like it is the subjects are being asked to rank the different drink brands using the rank order scaling, okay, and the instruction for the ranking are given, okay, and as I told, okay, that the most preferred brand will get a rank of 1, like here it is Pepsi. Okay. So, that the one thing you have to keep into the mind. Okay. So, now it is not like that as I told the rating scale are mostly used in the social or behavioral research, it is not, but this rating scale or this ranking scale are often used for a specific type of the analysis or specific type of the construct, like in case of the analysis of the constraints, in case of the analysis of the choice, in case of the analysis of the customer satisfaction, or in case of the performance evaluation, this ranking scale are often used. Okay. So, now what are the advantage of using the ranking scale? Okay. The first advantage is that, so there are 3 specific advantage from the analytical point of view. There may be other advantage also, okay, in terms of the convenience and in terms of easy to construct use, okay. But from the analytical point of view, the first one is that the scale of the individual can easily be intercorrelated and analyzed. So, there are statistical technique available, but though you have to keep into the mind the ranking scale basically fall under the Ipsetive measure. Okay. So, you remember we discussed about the normative and Ipsetive measure in some previous classes. Okay. So, that means okay, for the more clarity, it is not it cannot fulfill the criteria of the independence which is required for the most of the statistical analysis. Okay. So, that thing you have to keep into the mind, though it have specific it have the specific statistical test or statistical technique which can be used the ranking data also. Okay. Like in case of the correlation, instead of the Pearson product moment correlation R, you can use the Spearman the rank order correlation or rho. Okay. Secondly, the scale value of a set of stimuli can be calculated using one rank order method of the scaling. Okay. So, same rank order method can be utilized for the calculating the scale value of the any particular stimuli. Okay. And lastly, but most importantly, this ranking scale generally do not have the problem of the response set bias, or it partially escape the tendency of the agreement or the social desirability bias. Okay. So, these are the advantage for using the ranking scale apart from the simplicity, apart from the its easiness to use. Okay. But ranking scale also have a number of limitation. So, that is why okay, you should know the advantage and limitation of the each of the type of the scaling method. So that you can decide okay, based on your convenience as well as the based on your research objective, the which scale you want to use for your research. The first and obvious limitation is the, as I told, it is the rank order items are or ranking scale are not independent. Okay. So, lack of independence is the one of the problem or one of the most problematic area for the or most problematic for the ranking scale. Okay. Because what happened, okay, like you maybe there is a you are basically ranking 4 item. Okay. So, the first item, okay, so it may get the any of the 4 rank. Okay. Now, in this way when you come to the 4th item, so it is only have the one possibility left. Okay. So, that the last rank. Okay. So, in that way it generally create a negative correlation between the items, okay, which basically increase the measurement error. Okay. So, that is the problem with the this ranking scale. Okay. So, second is the loss of information. So, loss of information means, okay, in case of the ranking scale you only get the rank or order of the preferences, but what about the intensity of the preferences or the magnitude of the preferences. Okay. So, that is not possible in case of the ranking scale. So, that is another limitation. Okay. Cognitive load means that the ranking a huge number of item. So, when there is maybe 5 item, 10 item, okay, that is okay. Now, just you assume you have to rank a huge number of item. Okay. So, that means, so in this case, okay, so it become cognitively demanding for the, or it require the higher judgmental capability from the side of the respondent to actually respond to a ranking scale, and often the ranking scale are being used for the not for the much more complicated construct, okay, than for the rating scale, and that basically add to this particular limitation. Okay. As it increase the cognitive load, okay, so the number of item which can be judged through the rank order process, that should be limited. Okay. So, like in case of the Likert scale I was talking about, you can have the 40-45 items. Okay. So, that is not possible in case of the ranking scale. Okay. Now, the next limitation is the tiered rank. Means it is possible that among the items you are ranking or among the stimulus you are ranking with, okay, so some of the stimulus you have the same or you prefer to give the same rank, okay, or you think that they have the same weightage in terms of your response. Okay. So, in that case the ranking scale does not provide any opportunity for the use of the tiered rank. Okay. And now again the ranking are much more subjective in nature when you compared with the rating scale or the use of the rating. Okay. And also this use of the ranking scale generally provide the limited insight into the reason. Like you can know that what are the preferences of a particular person, but you cannot tell that why these preferences are. Okay. So, now this problem can be solved, okay, if you add after each of the ranking, okay, if you add an open ended question, this problem maybe it can be handled. But okay, so these are the some of the limitation, but okay, there are way out for the like the limitation of the limited insight into the region, certain way out is there, and this limitation are not, okay, if you look from the perspective on which perspective this scale be used, okay, so it may not seems like a limitation, because okay, so each of the decision to use the ranking scale or rating scale, it actually depend on the need of the research, it depend on the situation, it depend on the perspective of the researcher, what he want to find out, what is his objective. Okay. So, in that cases from that point of view, maybe like limited insight into the reason, limited item, okay, that may not actually be an limitation of a particular ranking scale. Okay. So, now when you can use the ranking scale, or if you especially you have the two choices, you use of the rating scale or ranking scale. Okay. So, when you should prefer the rating scale, or when you should prefer the ranking scale over the rating scale. Okay. Like in case of, if you look from the type of the data, like those psychological constructs that can be expressed, okay, in terms of the intensity, like opinion, attitude. Okay. So, those are, though it is better to measure them with your rating scale, okay, because by using the different scales you can actually come to the your interval level of the measurement, which is prone to the much more statistical analysis. Okay. Whereas ranking scale is strictly in the ordinal level. Okay. So, it has the limited number of statistical or mathematical operation can be possible in this particular level. Okay. So, and on the other hand, to understand the priorities or preferences, you should use the ranking scale, that is the much more appropriate. Okay. Now, sample size. Okay. So, in case of the rating scale can be easily used for the larger sample size, Okay. So, when you have a limited sample size, then it is better, or when you have a huge sample size, it is better to use the rating scale instead of the ranking scale. Okay. It is more suitable for the studying the smaller sample. Okay. Complexity of the questions, I already told that sometimes ranking require the higher level of judgment from the persons. Okay. So, that is why. Okay. So, ranking is basically used when the construct you are studying okay, maybe cannot be expressed in the straightforward way. So, that is in that cases we use the alternatively instead of rating scale we use the ranking scale. Okay. But again it is highly context specific, like context specific means okay. So, also the respondent especially they have the certain perception that what should be the scale for studying certain particular psychological aspect, okay, like for the customer satisfaction if you take. Okay. So, the customer are they are accustomed with the use of the rating instead of the ranking. Okay. And one thing you have to remember, this ranking is also a forced choice item. Okay. So, now in case of the forced choice item, okay, so there is, so forced choice have their own limitation, okay, or advantage also. Okay. So, that thing you have to keep into the mind when you design a or when you use a ranking scale. Okay. Now, so as such the use of the ranking scale data from a, because ultimately in the social research, okay, so you generally study a huge number of respondent, maybe 200, 300, 400, okay, so depending on the need of the study. Okay. So, you can remember the sample size determination techniques we talked about. Okay. 384 you remember the magic number in the sampling. Okay. So, let us take that you are ranking, you are studying the 384 people. Okay. So, in that cases, so ultimately after getting the ranking data you have to express, or you have to ultimately you have to come to the interpretation or interpretable position about the construct you are being measured. And as I already told that especially in case of the social science research, like if I talk about the agriculture, okay, or agricultural social science like agriculture extension, agricultural economics, okay. So, it is many of the research study the constraints being faced by the farmer, constraints being faced by the students, okay, or maybe the seriousness of a particular problem. Okay. So, now after ranking, getting the ranking data of those particular problem, okay, so you have to arrive at a certain position of the conclusion. Okay. So, the ranking data of this much people, okay, may not helpful in generating the conclusion. So, then what you need to arrive at the conclusion, you need to convert this ranking data into certain this comprehensive quantitative number. Okay. So, there are a number of techniques which can actually help you to convert your ranking data into a more observable and more interpretable quantitative values. Okay. So, one of such method or one of the popular method for doing that is the Gadget ranking method. Okay. So, this particular method, okay, again, so it convert the problems into numerical score, or order of the problems or order of the preferences to a numerical score. Okay. Then you can actually find out which is the most serious problem or which is the most important preferences. Okay. So, how it is being done? Okay. So, the first, like in case of the Gadget rank, use of the Gadget, you have to first get the ranking data, means respondent need to rank all the factors. Okay. So, if there is an 10 problem, okay, or you are talking about in case of the farmers or the storage of the foods. Okay. So, this 10 problem must be ranked by your sample, all the sample, okay, in terms of their preferences. Okay. Then this ranking are generally converted into a score value, okay, by using a formula which is commonly known as the formula for the percent position. Okay. So, percent position is simply 100 into Rij minus 0.5 by Nj. Okay. So, where Rij is the rank given for a ith variable by the 10th respondent. Okay. So, if the first rank, it is the first rank, then Rij will be 1, and if there is 10 maybe 10 problem, so Nj or N will be 10. Okay. That is the as simple as such. Okay. So, like if it is the third rank, it will be Rij will be 3. Okay. So, by using those particular value or by particular process, you actually calculate the percent position. Now, in the next step, okay, what you do, this is the one of the template, like you are judging the problems in the bamboo cultivators. Okay. So, there are maybe 8 particular problem is there. This is provided to the respondent to rank them according to their order of the problem or the preference of the problem or seriousness of the problem. Okay. So, after that you getting all the this rank data. So, you need to convert it into a summary table. So, summary table is nothing but it is a frequency table that among the total number of respondent, how many of them give a particular rank. okay, like inadequate farm credit. Okay. So, 13% among the respondent they give a rank of 1. Okay, 20% or 20 individual respondent they give a rank of 2 this particular problem, 29 individual give a rank of 3 and so on so. Okay. So, it can be easily done by using the countif function in the Excel sheet. Okay. So, I already I think demonstrated that how to use that. Okay. Now, then you have to calculate the percent position. So, percent position I was talking about, maybe in the if you link it with the previous problem. So, there were 8 problem. So, what will be the percent position for the first rank? It will be 100 into 1 minus 0.5 divided by 8. Okay. So, 8 problem is there. So, in that way you have to calculate the all these particular values, and then you have to, once you get this percent position value, so you have to find out the corresponding Garrett value from the Garrett table. Okay. So, here I gave the this one of the screenshot of the Garrett table. You can find it at the last, most of the research book. Okay, they have the towards the last of their book. Okay, you generally find out the number of table. So, okay, sometimes this Garrett table is also included in case of the book on the social science. Okay. So, now like in the previous example, okay, so the first calculated or percent position value was 6.25. Okay, so what will be the concerning Garrett table value? Like here, if you go by 6.14, the most nearest value you have to find out. Okay, so that is the 80. So 80 is the nearest value of the 6.25% position, that is 80. Okay, in the similar way, okay, if you look into the second one, second percent position, that is the 18.75. Okay, so what is the nearest value of the 18.75? That is the maybe 18.01. Okay, so that is the 68 is the value you are, that is the Garrett value. So, in this way you have to calculate the Garrett value for the all the this calculated value, all the percent position values. Okay. Then there is the next step, that is the calculation of the mean Garrett value and ranking. Okay, mean Garrett value, how it is calculated? So, you already remember in the step 2 there was the frequency data was there. Okay, so for the first item there may be certain number of people, okay, who or certain number of respondent give that particular problem the first rank. Then we will simply multiply this particular frequency data with the Garrett value we find out or we get from the Garrett table for a particular percent position. Okay, like for the first rank the Garrett value is 80. Okay, and for the how many people or how many respondent give this first rank, that is the 13 respondent gave that first rank. Okay, so we will multiply that 13 into 80. Okay, so you will get the value of 1040. Okay, so in this way for the all this particular position like 8 rank is possible, we will find we will multiply the Garrett value with the frequency, then we will calculate the total, or we sum the value received by each of the problem and divided by the number of the total number of the problem. Okay, so now so once you do that, so you after getting this average Garrett value, okay, so what you do, you then based on the Garrett value you can actually calculate the rank, okay, of the problem. Like here the marketing problem was found out to be or was found that it was the most serious problem in case of the maybe in case of the for the bamboo cultivar. Okay, so this is the as simple as such. Okay, coming to the next technique, that is the rank based quotient method. Okay, so it is like also the Garrett ranking. This can actually convert your ranking data into the some quotient or some quantitative data, which then again which can be used for the sequencing or ranking of the problem you are studying or the factors you are studying. Okay, so like in case of this rank based quotient method, the formula is the summation of Fi into n plus 1 minus I divided by capital N small into multiply by small n multiplied by 100. Okay, so Fi means the number of respondent reporting a particular problem under a ith rank. Okay, like if the 13%, if you take the previous example, reported that it is an first rank. Okay, so that then it is the Fi. N is the number of respondent. Okay, so number of respondent may be, okay, in the previous example this was 1000 was the number of respondent. Okay, and number of problem to identify. Okay, so 8 problem was there. Okay, so that is the number of problem identified, and when you take the summation and you divide the whole summation by this particular n into small n into capital N into 100. Okay, then you get the quotient position of a particular problem or particular item on which you are actually trying to find out. Okay, So, now we will take a this practical demonstration by using the Excel, that how to use this graded ranking formula, then how to use the how to calculate the rank based quotient using by utilizing this particular formula. Okay. So, now for the demonstration purpose in the Excel sheet you can see that there are, it is not the ranking data, it is the frequency table which I talked about in the second step, that based on the frequency data, based on the ranking data. So, you have to use the COUNTIF formula in the Excel to arrive at this frequency table. Okay. Like there are, it is the 10 problem, there is it is there are 1000 people, rank this 10 problem into based on their seriousness. Okay. So, now once you do that, the first step what it is the calculating the percent position. Okay. What is the formula of percent position? That is equal to 100 into, it is equal to 100 into, I will increase the size first. Okay. So, it is equal to 100 into, it is for first rank, it is 1 minus what you need to do 0.5 divided by total number of problem, here it is 10. Okay. So, that is the percent position. Okay. Then if you extend it for the all the position, okay, then you have to calculate it for the all the position. Okay. So, once simple way you can do that, okay, by like for the second position it should be 2, enter, for the third position it will be 3, enter, okay, for the fourth position it will be 4, enter, it is for the fifth position, for it is the sixth position, it is for the seventh rank, it is for the eighth rank, it is for the ninth, okay, and last one for the 10th. Okay. So, that is the value. Okay. Now, you have to find out the corresponding, Garrett value. Okay. So, what are the Garrett value for the this rank percent position 5? Okay. So, if you look into the Garrett value is around, it is 5.5, it is the 5 is most closest to the 4.92, that means 82 is the your percent position. Okay. So, we will again go back. Okay. So, it will be 82. In the similar way, just I put it, okay, these are not the actual accurate number, okay, just you take it for the purpose of the calculation. Okay. Then what you need to do? You need to calculate the next table, that is based on the multiplying the frequency data with the Garrett value. Okay. So, frequency data, what is the first frequency data? That is the, so what you need to do, equal to, okay, this one into 82. Okay. So, you get this one, then if you extend it, okay, okay, in this way. Now, for this should be done for the all that particular problems. Okay. Then you have to take the average. Okay. Once you take the average, you will arrive at the average Garrett value or average mean Garrett value for each of the item, and now based on the average this value, now those are the quantitative value. So, higher value, that means that have the most serious, lower value means that is the least serious. Okay. So, you have to give the rank 1 to the most serious problem if you are studying the seriousness, and if you are not if you are so that is the process. Okay. So, now, so same way, so in case of the RBQ method, so by using the different formula you actually arrived at the again in a group of quotient. Okay. So, now in the same formula, or if you you use the RBQ process or rank based quotient method in the same example. Okay. So, here what you need to do, like I copy the data from the previous one, like the first problem or first problem was the high cost of the input, and this is the frequency data, like 250 people okay, give it first rank, second rank, and followed by the 0 people give the 10th rank. Okay. So, what we do first, we have to calculate the first part of the formula, okay, that is different for the each of the item, like it is the summation of the Fi into n plus 1 minus I. Okay. So, Fi mean the number of respondent who reporting to a particular problem under a rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, like that. Okay. So, that will change and you have to take the summation of that. The denominator part is the same. Okay. Like if you take it here, okay, I calculated already the for the first. Okay. So, it is 250 was the number of person into 10 was the number of the problem. Okay. 10 plus 1 minus 1 minus 1 means it is the n plus, okay, n is the number of the problems which you are trying to rank. Okay. 1 plus 1 minus I means I is that particular rank. Okay. Here the rank is basically 1. Okay. That is why it is 1 minus 1. Okay. In the similar way, okay, again if you go to the next cell, then you have to, what you need to do, you need to multiply with the number of person who give the second rank, that is the 320. So, 320 into, again the n will be always similar, that is 10. Okay. Only the change is 1 minus 2. Okay. I minus this 1 minus I. Okay. So, that is why I put it into the different particular bracket. Okay. So, it will actually, if you calculate the first one, then you extend it, and by changing the only the ith value, you can get the all the cells, okay, value. Then what you need to do, you need to divide it, this whole particular summation of this, divided it with the your number of respondent into number of problems into 100. So, number of respondent is 1000, okay, number of problem is 10, and it is into 100. Okay. So, now if you do that, okay, so you will actually arrive at the 83.23, that is the rank based quotient for that particular problem. So, in the similar way, you have to calculate for the problem, and then based on the rank based quotient, you can also decide that which one is the most serious one. Okay. So, I think now it is, you can do it by yourself. Okay. It is not very tough. Okay. It is a simple calculation, only the converting the rank to the some quantitative quotient by using either the RBQ method or by using the Garrett table. Okay. So, this is one of the one of the analysis we used to do when we calculate or when you study the constraints preferences by using the ranking data. So, apart from that, I already told you that when you are comparing the rank given by a number of person, you can use the Spearman correlation coefficient also, along with all the measure which can be used in the ordinal level is basically can be utilized in case of the ranking scale data, or with the ranking scale or data obtained from the ranking scale. So, with this we will conclude today's lecture. As always, you can go through this particular textbook for development of your further knowledge into the social research, and with this we will conclude today's lecture. Thank you.